The art of felting carpets for warm. So this passage is about how carpets are woven, what's the culture behind it, what's the tradition behind it. Pretty straightforward passage with lots of facts in it. Let's quickly read the passage and summarize it so that we can answer questions. The art of felting carpets for warming stone homes, for decoration, for cultural appearances, expression has for centuries been a pursuit of women and girls in Ingushetia, one of Russia's smallest and southernmost republics. So, Russia has a small southern republic called Ingushetia where they continue this art. And this art is pursued for various reasons, for warming stone houses, for decoration, for cultural expressions for several centuries. Folk music, paintings, and old photographs have immortalized the wisdom woven into these rugs, called ishtings in English. So, the language of the people is English, and this folk music, which is woven into the carpets, paintings, old photographs, have immortalized the wisdom. They have woven all these into the carpets, and these rugs are called ishtings. They are traditional throughout the Caucasus and Central Asia. But in Ingushetia, the labor intensive craft has foundered in the decades since Soviet dictator Joseph Stalin came in collusion with the Nazis, ordered the deportation of nearly the entire predominantly Muslim populace along with the Chechens and other ethnic minorities of the Soviet Union during World War II. The labor intensive craft, foundered means struggled because Stalin had deported huge sections of the population during the Second World War. Decades later, only the elderly remain to remember truly remember this traditional craft and its symbols, and many of the most beautiful antique examples had been put to more desperate uses. Wedged over doors to prevent drafts, used to bundle up children, or sold for food in that time of cold exile in Central Asia. Now only the elderly remain who remember the craft, who remember its symbols. Many of these beautiful rugs were put for other uses, right? Put against the window to prevent a draft of cold wind, to keep a child warm, or sometimes they've been sold because they wanted food and money. We had already lost so much, said ethnographer Tanzila of the English Scientific Research Institute of the Humanities in Magas, the capital. We had to hurry. So we've lost so much time in preserving this art, we had to hurry. What did she do? She and a small group of specialists from what is now Historical and Geographical Society of Durjuk Zurzuki, including historians, ethnographers, photographers, ecologists, restorers, guided by enthusiasts on Facebook and other contacts, began scouring their mountainous homeland beginning in 2012. She, along with a group of specialists, contacts on social media, everybody got together. Scouring means searching the homelands, mountainous homelands in 2012. Began in 2012, this effort. They poured through national archives and family histories, traveled to collect and catalog ancient English ornaments or designs still visible on stone carvings, petroglyphs, gravestones, and ishting carpets. Any memories, guidance, and fragments that remain or had made it back to the homeland. Even faded fragments were key to salvaging the meaning and image of an ornament before it was lost to time. It had been years, it was struggling to stay alive, but a group of people wanted to rejuvenate it, to bring it back to life, whatever, before it was lost to time. But what began as a historical investigation has helped to fuel a booming craft revival, but it resulted in a revival of the craft, a booming revival, including a new felting workshop, artisan associations in the capital that has already trained hundreds of girls and women. Zorova, who says her own grandmother would cry from happiness if she could see what's happening now, imagines the craft as a thread connecting these new felters to generations of women before them. It's as if there is a genetic memory in the hands, she says. Now there are classes in schools, competitions, the book English National Ornament, which documents over 1,000 historical ornaments specific to the Ingushetia. Among these are fertility symbols for the newlyweds and labyrinthine designs intended to confuse evil spirits. Many mythical ornaments predate the region's conversion to Islam, such as depiction of a tree of life symbolizing portals between worlds, or other centuries old imagery. The oldest recorded examples are from the 17th century, and they can include symbols of the sun, triangles, and waves. They can represent complicated messages designed to conjure magic and spiritual protection, or to reflect history and memories. In years of epidemics, crop failures, and war and other disasters, ornaments were always asymmetrical. Each carpet not just warms or decorates a home, but also tells a story. The design, sometimes particular to one family and passed unchanged through generations of its women. In one English folk song, the lyrics detail how a woman named Pyatimath dreams up an ishting that her six daughters help her complete in a field of grass over a span of 12 days. Which of the following, if true, would invalidate the claims made in the passage? It would go against the author's claims, right? The demand for carpets made in Ingushetia has gone up sharply. This supports the author's view because he says that there's a booming revival, so that means the demand is high. Carpets have more than just utility value, right? They're not just useful. He's talked of weaving stories and memory and tradition and all that. So they are more than just utility value. They have many uses in the region. Right in the first paragraph, he says for warming a house, various uses. Let's just look at the first paragraph. Warming stone homes, decoration, and cultural expression. So various uses it has. So C can be uh, also supports the author's view. Now, the author says that it's a booming industry, it's been taught in schools, young women say they feel connected with the earlier generation. Now, if D were correct, young girls and women of Ingushitia have lost interest and they instead want to go to college. This goes against the author's claim that people are showing enthusiasm and they're getting back into the craft, carpet and felting industry. Therefore, D is the correct answer.